More than 1 lakh people have died just this month as the COVID second wave wreaks havoc across India. This is 33% of the overall reported death toll of over 3 lakh, even as daily infections hover at about 2 lakh. India's startup ecosystem has been at the front lines of the fight against COVID-19 as entrepreneurs, investors and startups come together to incubate, innovate, accelerate and deploy tech as the country copes with COVID. Over the last year, the Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms, or CCAMP, has been on a mission to find local COVID-19 innovations for rapid deployment. In phase 1 of its COVID accelerator program, CCAMP funded and scaled 22 startups that are in deployment stage currently. In the second wave, CCAMP has focused on increasing hospital bed capacity, CPAP devices, ventilators and oxygen concentrators. Medical device maker INNACCEL is working to solve for the lack of appropriate equipment for emergency and critical care, neonatal care and ENT. So far, INNACCEL has deployed its solutions to help over 10,000 patients across India at low-resource small nursing homes in Tier 3 cities to super specialty hospitals. QWell Life Sciences received the ICMR nod for its in-house RT-PCR test, RNA extraction kits and Lyset MTM in April 2020. Since then, the biotech firm has deployed over 2.4 crore solutions across 24 states, working with both private and public enterprises. During the second wave, the firm has seen a 50% jump in demand and has sold over 12 million tests from Jan to March 2021. Health tech startup BlackFrog aims to improve efficiency of the immunization supply chain. Its portable battery-powered refrigeration device, Emvolio, is a plug-and-play solution that assists in the last-mile transportation of vaccines. BlackFrog is working with NGOs and hospitals across the country to deploy the product for COVID-19 vaccine supply to ensure that there is no scope of wastage. Joining us now to take the conversation forward is Dr. Tasleem Marif Sayed, Director and CEO of the Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms, Rachna Tripathi, the CEO and co-founder of QWell Life Sciences, Mayur Shetty, the CEO of BlackFrog Technologies, and Nitish Kumar Jangir, the co-founder of INNACCEL. Thanks very much, gentlemen, and Rachna, for joining us. Dr. Sayed, let me start by asking you about the work that's happening at CCAMP. There are many startups that you're working with. There are many partners that you're working with, especially through the course of the second wave. What has been the most fruitful partnerships that you've been able to take forward?
No, indeed. First of all, it's good to be here. And I think, as you rightly said, we have been doing a diverse set of things to ensure that the innovative products actually get deployed in the field and help patients. While in the first phase, we attempted to look into our own backyard and identify innovations. In the post-identification, we have attempted to take those into deployment and then scale up deployment. So in this phase, we have actually worked on the scale up of the deployment, be it respiratory support devices like INNACCEL, or the testing capabilities like QWell, or now BlackFrog in terms of vaccination cold chain transport as well. Very importantly, we have also been able to do collaborations with international foundations, be it Rockefeller Foundation or Novo Nordisk Foundation, and the local CSR support to make sure that those biomedical equipment and the hospital beds are now available when we have infrastructure which is struggling, which has been struggling, and we can make actually a contribution to that. I think it has been a phenomenal gratification that at such challenging times, we have been able to be relevant and contribute to a larger need that we all are trying to make a small pitch towards.
Yes, you're right in pointing out that there is a need for urgent intervention at this point in time. You brought up the issue of BlackFrog, so let me take this conversation straight to Mayur Shetty, the CEO of BlackFrog Technologies. Mayur, many thanks for joining us. For people who don't know much about the company, it's a Manipal-based health tech startup, and you aim to improve the efficiency of the vaccine supply chain. Essentially, that's what you're hoping to do, address the last-mile delivery of vaccines. While vaccine supply is a challenge at this point in time, so is the supply chain. What's been the biggest impediment? What's been the biggest challenge? Take me through what you've experienced over the last few months.
Certainly. Thank you for having me over. Vaccine wastage seems to be the buzzword. Karnataka, while the numbers are hovering around 6%, there are some states like Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh where it's close to 37% vaccine wastage. And that's terrible, considering 1 out of 3 vaccines are going to waste before it's being administered, and there is such a severe shortage of vaccines. And it's kind of been our mission even prior to COVID-19. We've been working in the immunization supply chain domain. We've been funded by Government of India to solve some of the last mile problems of vaccination. So essentially, the thermal degradation associated with vaccines, it's absolutely critical and terrible in the last mile. Almost 70% of the wastage happens in the last mile, and that's what we're trying to curb with our technology. We developed a patented technology called Emvolio, that is a portable medical grade refrigeration system. So this maintains a preset temperature conducive to vaccines for 12 plus hours, so that you're able to take the vaccines, reach out to some of the far-flung remote areas, immunize people, and bring it back safely without losing the efficacy nor destroying the vaccines, so that you can refrigerate it, reuse it again. And this is something that we're starting with strong partners like CCamp. We're deploying in the Northeast right now with partners like Venture Center. We're doing it in Maharashtra. Hopefully, over time, we're able to reach everyone, not just rural and remote areas, but even in a tier 1 city where the vaccines that you and I get are still coming in ice boxes and rudimentary non-compliant systems.
Well, that's good to hear. But Mayur, I want to understand from you, take me through what the pricing is for Emvolio, and more importantly, what is the production capacity? I believe you're currently working at about 1,500 units a month. Given the, the aggression with which we require to vaccinate our population, the demand for a product like yours would be significant. So what's the ramp-up plan?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, currently we are an ISO certified manufacturer of medical devices, and we've been very cautious at how we take up large volume production. So we're doing about 1,500 units per month. As Government of India wants us to ramp it up for taking over tier 1, tier 2 cities as well, we would certainly be in a position, and we are raising private capital for this right now. I think the estimate is about 60 to 70,000 units that are critically required to immunize the entirety of the population. So that, I would say, is our objective over the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay. Well, let me ask Nitesh Jangri, the co-founder of INNACCEL, pretty much what we were just chatting about, Mayur. And again, for the benefit of our viewers, just a quick recap on what INNACCEL does. It's a medical device company. It's trying to solve unmet clinical needs. It's got a globally patented solution for emergency and critical care, but as well as child care. Thanks very much, Nitesh, for joining us. Take me through what your experience has been like. What are you hoping to address in terms of the medical infrastructure deficit at this point in time? Who are the organizations, state governments, etc., that you're partnering with, talking to?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me to come here and speak about the work which we are doing in terms of helping clinicians to fight COVID-19. We in INNACCEL Technologies, we have been working in the area of emergency care, infection prevention, and in respiratory care from more than last five years. So for us, when COVID hit, we worked very closely with intensive care physicians. And at that time, all intensive care physicians told us that you guys have experience in respiratory care area, and we had neonatal breathing support equipment already with us, which was world's first neonatal breathing support equipment, which was really easy to use and can be used without electricity, can be used in hospital, in any kind of transport, including autos or on bikes. So while working with physician, we got this idea that can we improve upon our existing technology and make sure that everyone who requires the breathing support, specifically non-invasive breathing support, can get breathing support using the indigenous technology, which is largely designed by an Indian company, but for the Indian settings, because many of these medical devices, ventilators or other devices we get from outside India are not designed for our tier 2 or tier 3 centers. They are complex to use. They are not portable. They does not connect properly to our oxygen connectors or the systems inside the hospital. So we spent a lot of time to figure out these problems and then made this device. We call it SaaS Pro, which is a non-invasive ventilation system, which provides CPAP as well as high flow oxygen therapy to the patients who are having respiratory deficit or having lesser SpO2, and make sure that they don't need or they don't go to the invasive ventilation, because as most of us know that if a patient goes to invasive ventilation, there is a high mortality rate of 80 to 90%. So idea was to make sure that patients receive really, really good breathing support and they don't ultimately end up on the ventilator. So by now we have, with the help of CCAM is helping us, at least from I know is from more than 5 years in our journey. And during COVID time also, they have helped us a lot, not in just in mentorship and design help, as well as in the deployment itself. So with this device, we have more than 350 of our products already installed across India, which have helped thousands of doctors treating thousands of lives.
Okay, yes, so you've deployed more than 350 SaaS Pro machines. You've also got a whole bunch of other stuff going. There's a SaaS helmet, there's other wearable devices as well. I'll talk to you about that in just a second, but Mayur just talked to us about fundraising capital requirement in terms of ramping up production capacity. You've raised about $7 million so far. Is that enough for now in terms of your plan?
Well, it's a little tricky considering we're in public health and fundraising is quite difficult for us. But considering the requirement right now, we're at a position where we're able to supply for the requirements we've had in the past. But yeah, moving ahead, we are looking to raise further funds. CCAMP is a close partner, and they've been part of investment in the past as well. So yeah, this is, I mean, we're out in the open looking for further investment to scale up our production right now.
Okay. Well, Ratna, thanks for joining us. Let me talk to you about what's happening at Whowell Life Sciences, a company that was founded in 2015, and you're developing high-end molecular diagnostic kit manufacturers. Take me through what your experience has been like, especially in the context of being able to develop and commercialize the RT-PCR kit.
Yeah, when we have seen in December or January beginning that China is struggling with the COVID-19, we had in mind that yes, because we are neighbors and it's spreading so fast, we might need this kit. So we were in the process of designing the kit and making it ready. But the biggest challenge for us was the scale up, because diagnostic industry has never seen so much of demand, especially the molecular diagnostics, which is a relatively new field in India, maybe in other countries, but India, it wasn't so popular. So the scale up was not so much before COVID, when we were talking about 2 to 3 lakhs kits year. Now we are manufacturing around 4 to 5 lakhs, or in a month 10 lakhs kit in a month. So that scale up was a big challenge because infrastructure was not available. Then one of our component, which is primers, we were 100% dependent on the other countries, and the import and export was completely stopped. So, but luckily, BIRAC funded us, CCAMP helped us in validation, and Kavach helped us in scale up. And we had some of the enzymes which are very important, which we were already producing at the UL. We were lucky that we thought that we should produce it here, and we started producing it. So with the help of these government organizations, we could scale up, and we could increase our production capacity month by month, day by day. And right now we are able to manufacture up to 4 to 5 lakhs. And in fact, we are planning to go up to 10 lakhs kit in a month. At the same time, we also had a problem because when the scale is increasing, automation, developing automation quickly in the condition of lockdown was not so easy. But and getting a trained manpower again became a tough task. But somehow we have been managing and increasing our production capacity, as well as innovating to manufacture the components which were not available in the country earlier, and trying to cope up with the situation.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck as you look to ramp up to 10 lakh kits a month, RT-PCR test kits a month. But Dr. Syed, I want to go back there's a common thread that we're hearing here from these three entrepreneurs. One, of course, is the need to partner with government bodies, government agencies, state government, central government, and that is the kind of support that they require to be able to make inroads, especially in areas like health and medical infrastructure. Capital, of course, is a constraint as well, and I think that has clearly been echoed by all three of them. You're working with many startup founders at this point in time. What more can we expect from an organization like CCAMP? And secondly, I think an important issue in the context of what we've seen happen as far as the ventilator story in India is concerned, all of us want to see innovative products. All of us want to see innovative solutions out there in the market, but efficacy and safety and functionality, how do we ensure that we're not just producing products, but we're producing high quality, world-class products?
No, I think, Usman, a very, very valid point. The second point is very, very crucial. So I'll just take both points one by one very quickly. I think you read very rightly, and all three whom we call as stars of our COVID-19 innovations from last year, rightly said that their phase was first building a product and then a scale up, and then penetration in the system. And I think I can't, possibly say in few words the role played by government machinery, including support to CCAMP. I think you start from the office of the PSA to DBT, BIRAC to DST, Niti Aayog, AIM, or even local governments, even Karnataka. I think they played crucial role. I think many a times we actually can say a few things and ask questions, but they actually have responded phenomenally, including some of the regulatory bodies as well. So I think you rightly said that they have come together and ensured that some of these innovations, which were early stage when we actually picked them up, they can actually go through the rigorous regulatory and deployment stage. And I think that's very important, and we thank them for that. But very importantly, you rightly said, when we build products, it's not about building products and putting a number N on the table, but also making sure something that possibly as a geography, India hasn't done well, is put quality standard at the top of their priority. I think that is something that is required, and a program like Enbric Index, as I think, which is for building indigenization of diagnostics, supported at the DBT and Rockefeller Foundation level. I think one of the key things we ensured was the quality standards, that we should make products which are not only useful and approved in India, but also they should be approved by US FDA as well as in Europe. And I'm very happy to share that Nitesh, who hasn't spoken about his other product called VapCare, which is also very useful in COVID in ICU patients to prevent secondary infections, has been approved by US FDA. So I think you are absolutely right. While we build products, it is very important to have quality standards so that our products are not only useful locally, but also internationally. And so this is something we need to collectively put into practice, not only during this emergency period, but for long term, if you were to do well as an innovation country.
Nitesh, thanks, Dr. Syed, for bringing that up. So let me take that straight across to Nitesh. Nitesh, the fact that you've got US FDA certification and what we're talking about here is not just the need for whether it is, frugal innovation or innovation in general. The point is that we require good quality products here, not just in India, but hopefully from India for the world. Take me through what it was like for you to be able to ensure that there is, that kind of quality standard that the product meets.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference between the normal products and the products designed for human use or for medical devices. The quality becomes the most important thing. And the good thing about that globally there are many quality standards, safety standards, which are already been perfectly laid down. In India, we have labs where we can go and get things tested. The one big issue which Dr. Rachin also clearly said that where we find problem is the manpower who knows how to get these things done. So that's where the big challenge we face. But in the normal times, it takes 2 to 3 years to reach to that kind of quality level when you start from your concept to your final product, where your product is not just foolproof, but it is also foolproof. So that's the one term we use in regulatory, that it's not just by design. We have to ensure that product doesn't work in wrong way in any way. It doesn't harm anyone. So there are processes related to quality management system where ISO 13485 is available. US FDA has multiple documents. Indian, we have BIS standards, which guides on make sure that product meets the high standard and high quality. And as you correctly said, all of these require a lot of investment. And a lot of money is got in. As you said, that we have spent close to $8 million to reach to this level with multiple products. And we are hoping to raise another 8 million dollars to take our products, not just India, but to get into European markets, US market, even to Sub-Saharan Africa, which is a big market. So having this good quality tag will make sure that we just not save lives across India, but also globally and become a hub for medical device or healthcare innovation for the world.
Well, a hub for medical innovation for the world, that's the aspiration. Mayur and Rachna, let me quickly get final comments from you as well. Mayur, so what is the dream now for you and for BlackFrog Technologies?
So it's adoption. We're there where the government of India has been benevolent. They've spent a lot of taxpayers' money in ensuring we come out with a solution that works, that's rugged, that works in all geographies. Now it's just about adoption, and that I just want to resonate on Dr. Tasleem's statement on access to quality healthcare. I think India is a little complacent when it comes to that. We look at numbers rather than the quality. In vaccines, I mean, to transport vaccines, we use the same technology that we use for fruits, fish, and other beverages using ice boxes, right? So it's going to take some time. I think it's on us to remain patient and keep it going while awareness on vaccine wastage and the risks of administering inefficacious vaccines reaches the masses. People start demanding that we want quality healthcare, we want quality vaccines coming in right and appropriate conditions. So that's the dream. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, Rachna, what's the dream?
Dream is the product I manufacture at UWell, we manufacture is scientifically intricate product. And as the society is not aware, the test was not so popular, I see for all the manufacturers, the major problem comes with the troubleshoot or the transportation of the kit. So I want to take it to such level of automation that human intervention required is minimal and the product is not temperature sensitive. So in India, we can take it to any nook and corner and without any troubleshoot, it can perform a foolproof technology, what he said, exactly the same way we want to do it. So it's a fully automated sample in result out system where the PCR testing can be done without any intervention and without requirement of the low temperature storage conditions. I think that will be the best time for me.
Well, Rachna, Mayur, Nitesh, and Dr. Saeed, we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks very much for joining us here on Young Turks to take us through the products that you're working on and the impact that you hope to make. We will take a break here on the show. There's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment.